All right, I think we're recording now.
Okay, hey guys, we are just making a short video about how to rock this business without getting overwhelmed. For most of us, this is kind of a side hustle, so we know that you have other jobs, other commitments, and that is totally fine. You can still do very well in this business with a small amount of time. It's just a matter of doing the right things and utilizing your time effectively.
Okay, so scheduling in your work. So treat this business like a business. This is a real job, so you need to know when you're working, how long you're working, and what are the tasks that you need to focus on, and not wasting time scrolling, which we can all probably say we're guilty of sometimes. So working in pockets of time or a full action hour, and they both work. So as Tiffany was saying, we all likely have full-time jobs. We're students. We literally have no extra time, but we need to make the extra time. So how do we do that? And for me, that kind of looked like getting up a little bit earlier and setting time for my personal development, but also finding time to sit down in the morning to do like 10 minutes of sending invites. And sometimes you can, so again, like I was saying, got off on a tangent. Sometimes you can sit down for an hour. You can follow one of the guided action hours and bust out some serious work in 1 hour of your day. Or other times you might not have that hour to give. So you can do 3 minutes in line at the Sobeys grocery store while you're waiting. You can do, again, that 10 minutes in the morning before you get your workout done. And both options are totally fine. Don't feel like you need to be giving an hour all the time. And they're both equally as effective. So use the tracker, which we'll go over down in the presentation, and be accountable for what you are and are not doing. So using the business activity tracker or helping make your own simplified version will help you just kind of keep track of those tasks that you need to get done.
And building off of Shanique's too, like when I first started, we like just bought a house. I was a brand new teacher. I like just felt like I was planning a wedding. Like I felt like I had all the things going on, and waking up earlier was huge, but not just like, obviously it's huge for mental health and like not just waking up to go to work. I recommend everyone wakes up earlier before work, not just coaches. But I work best while sipping on my Energize. So I would like that half hour, because I give it like normally 30 minutes, I push it until I get my workout in, but that half hour is like golden. So I'm like focused and I'm ready to go. And normally I spend it going over yesterday's stories and seeing who was watching me yesterday, and then reaching out to them based on like what they were watching. So if I was talking about my workouts yesterday or a coaching group or like recipes, whatever the heck I was talking about yesterday, I reach out to those people and just like talk about it. Like that's how you build your connections. It could be like, hey, I noticed that you watched my story yesterday. In case you wanted it, here's that recipe, or like whatever, just like open up the door. Or it could be like, hey, I don't know if you saw, but like we're inviting into our last 60 days workout challenge. Like never hesitate to message me if it's something you're interested in. Like something super chill, but talk to all the people. And once you get on a roll, you're like, damn, I have to go work out, because you're like into it. But then later, if you have time to do like a action hour or like work during recess, teacher. So like I would always send out invites during recess or my lunch break. You already did it in the morning, so you can copy and paste your invites. Like you've done the hard work like at 6 a.m. and now it's just like, oh, I'm going to do that again because I already got into a groove. And then you have the whole day to kind of respond to people. So maybe it's in the evening, or maybe you wait until the next morning. Like I had a bit there where I just only worked in the morning because I just couldn't work. I was like having a hard time balancing, because I was like always working all day long. So I was like, no, in the morning I message, in the morning I answer messages, and it worked out beautifully. But you're going to find what works for you, but you're not going to find out what works for you if you don't try stuff first. So try inviting while you drink your Energize. I highly recommend. But anyways, sorry, that was my side tangent. Okay. What to prioritize? What do I do? Was this me?
I think so.
Okay. All right. So basically we all know, like, or we should know by now, you're the foundation of this business. So taking care of you first is the thing to do first. So do your workout, drink your Shakeology, do your own meal prep, like read your own book for personal development. Like that is your job first and foremost. But while you do those things, you're simultaneously sharing about them. And it's so easy every single morning. If you get into a routine, consistently share about it. Like every single morning, if you watch my stories, it's a mirror selfie with my Energize every morning. The text is always different though. Sometimes the text says, today feels like a Monday and it was hard to wake up, but like, cheers. Sometimes it's, I was going to sleep in, but I have such a good like natural alarm clock now with my morning routine that I'm up and excited. Or sometimes it's like whatever, like your text can change. But your photos and like what you're doing can be consistent. Maybe you take a picture of something you've highlighted that day from your PD book, and that's part of your routine. When I did bar for the first time, every single day, pulling my affirmation card was in my story. You're going to find like your consistencies. And that's fine. Like being repetitive is good because then people know what to expect. And then when they think of a morning routine or when they think of workouts, you're the person that comes to their mind because you're the most consistent person in that. Yeah. And people look for it. No one ever gets sick of it. It's like literally a less than a second click away. It's not like they're like, oh, I have to stare at this for 10 minutes. Like, no. Yeah. So don't be worried about being like too much.
If I could add to that quickly, Sam. Also, what your routine looks like is not going to be what everybody else's routine looks like. Don't feel like you need to be doing what every other coach is doing. People are going to like you for you. So like if your morning routine is doing yoga, if your morning routine is making your Shakeology, if your morning routine is doing your journaling, like it's different for everyone. But what people are going to love to see is that you are consistent with things that matter to your well-being and that you're doing it every day. And like how Sam was saying, sometimes she adds those objections in there. I didn't want to get up this morning, or I wanted to sleep in this morning, or today it feels like a Monday. It's showing that you're still sticking to that routine because you know you're going to feel better after, that people are going to take to you for.
Yeah. And people honestly relate way more to the struggles than your highlight reel. Like highlight the reel, don't show them your highlight reel. Because that's where people are like, I feel that, and like you inspire me because you can do it in spite of those things. Yeah, so never feel like, oh, my routine's not good enough. It's like, dude, like people are gonna relate to you and look up to you because you're still doing it. Like you're trying, which is more than what someone else out there probably is thinking of their own routine, right? Okay, another thing. So following friends of friends on Instagram, this is like my number one tip for people who are like, I don't have new people watching me, or I have no one to invite, that kind of thing. Like when I started Beachbody, I didn't even have Instagram. I just used Facebook. My Instagram had like 0 people on it because I didn't use it. So I started from scratch on Instagram, and it was following friends of friends. That's all I did. There's no magic behind it. I didn't have some weird formula. I literally would click a friend, click a post that I liked, see who else liked it, and then quickly creep them and be like, you look cool, you look cool, you look cool, follow, follow, follow. Some people will say cruise their profile, like 3 photos, comment on 1, that kind of thing. That's not my jam. I just don't have time for that. I'll do that later if they follow me back and then I start engaging. But I watched a team call once that said it's kind of like handing out your business card. So every time you hit the follow button, you're like, here I am, here I am, here I am. Because what they do is as soon as, like anyone, as soon as someone follows you, you go look at their page. You're like, who the heck just followed me? And you click on their page. So if you have highlights that are saved on your page that are like something of interest to somebody else, or they go through your posts, it's like your storefront, right? So it's like they're walking into your store for the first time or walking by, and that's like their split-second decision to be like, she looks cool, I'd go here again, you know, or like I'd watch more of this. But yeah, they're gonna watch your story, check out what you have as highlights, and look at your last like 6 posts, whatever pops up first. So as long as you're showing a variety of yourself and like not just sharing Beachbody stuff, but like life stuff too, then you're way more likely to have people be like, she looks cool, as opposed to she's trying to sell me on something, because we don't want to come off that way at all. So check your social media, make sure it's like genuinely representing you, not just you as a business, but like you as a human. Anyways, so yeah, following friends of friends on Instagram. Because as soon as they see that you've mutual friends, they're way more likely to click you as well, instead of it being like some random that has no one in common that they know you just found them from cyberspace or something. Posting on your Instagram story all the time, talked about that one. And actual posts, you'll get different people who like your posts and who watch your stories. It's not the same clientele all the time, so it's good to do a mix. And when you post and people engage in your post, your stories also show up at the top. So posting is a good way to get your stories watched, if that makes sense. So if they engage on your post, your stories will pop up to the front. So posting is really important, even though you'll probably get more interaction and conversations through stories. Post is how you get people to your stories. And it's good if you talk, this is Instagram training, but if you talk on your story about a post you made or talk in your post about your stories, it gets people to go back and forth, which is also pretty cool. Consistently sharing your routine, workouts, your boot camps. Yeah, screenshotting your boot camp, what's going on in there. If anyone ever sends you some love, screenshot it, block out their name or whatever, and just be like genuine. Like I always say, like, this is why I do what I do, because every time I get a message like that, my heart melts and I'm like, this is why, like, it's real. But just whatever is authentic to you when you get those feel good messages, share those. All the things you're doing and learning, even if it's something that you think is so not important, other people do. Like, it's crazy the things, like, what did I do? Remember, I had on my story that I made eggs in like this pan. I've never, like, so many people were like, what pan did you use to make those eggs? And I'm like, dude, it's a poaching pan. Like, you just poach eggs in this thing. But like, the things that you think are insignificant, other people follow. And I still get people saying, how do you make overnight oats? And I'm like, man, it's been 4 years that I've posted about overnight oats. But people still enjoy that stuff. So even if it's something simple, or what book are you reading, or where are your pants from? Like, you'll get stuff like that as you go and like talk to people and people feel open asking you. Mm-hmm. And then inviting people watching you. So inviting the people who, like, you can see who viewed your stories, see who liked your posts, all that kind of stuff. Those are true invites. If you're putting a quiz or a poll or a slidey thing on your Instagram story, that's a public invite, but know that they're bonus, because most of the time no one's going to click your poll and no one's going to slide your thing and no one's going to type into your box. If they do, that's awesome. But know that that's not where the majority of this business comes from. It's in your DMs. It's in those like one-to-one conversations that you initiate by being like, hey girl, I see you and feel free to talk to me at any time. That's what makes you a real human, not just some robot on IG stories.
Okay, an amazing coach. So an amazing coach is active in their current boot camp, in the challenge groups, making sure you're checking in, making sure you're commenting on your challengers' posts, making sure you're encouraging them, but also reaching out individually too, and just seeing how they're doing. And this doesn't have to be every single day. You can do this once a week. You can do this monthly, whatever you kind of find your groove with. This means sharing your tips in there, commenting on everyone's posts, celebrating others, connecting with others, and reaching out if you notice that someone hasn't been there in a while. And that also means you showing up in the group, trying to log your own workouts, logging your own Shakeology, because people lead, you have to lead by example. I mean, you're a coach, you're kind of that mentor now. And it's something I have to work on too, is even just commenting on the daily posts that I share, because sometimes people don't feel comfortable because it's vulnerable. It's vulnerable to share or comment on something. But if you kind of open that door, they see you and you're that in that example. So just making sure that you're doing the things. If you expect your challengers to be logging their workouts and staying accountable, then you should be doing that too. And not just signing challengers up and then saying, peace out, have fun, here's my group, good luck. Like, making sure that they know that you're there anytime. Like, I have people that have signed up with me 3 years ago that consistently stopped showing up for months and months and months, and I have still kept in contact with them. And there are also challengers who I've lost. And that's, again, you can't force people to do the work. You can check in. They might ghost you too. Like, even though they've signed up with you, you have that trust, they may then you might never hear from them again. That happens too. And don't feel like that makes you a bad coach, because you can only do so much. So don't also realize there are those challengers that you may lose, and that's going to happen, and that's fine. I like the saying, you can bring the horse to water, but you can't force it to drink. So you can help them get all set up with their stuff, and then, yeah, they may not. They may peace out, and there's only so much you can do. Yeah.
So the best thing about being a Beachbody coach is that it is literally your job to feel inspired. When you feel inspired, that is when you are going to be fired up about your business, and that is when you are going to be your best self. If you are struggling with inspiration, get on a team call. Right now, they're scheduled every Monday and Tuesday. Message your coach, ask when the next team call is. You can always hop on a team call. If you can't make it when it's actually happening, there's always a recording. Do a guided power hour. If you go onto a lot of the team pages, there usually people have lists of guided power hours. If not, you can go on YouTube, search guided power hour. There's a ton that will pop up. Listening to the national wake up call, that's every single Monday. You can do that through the Beachbody website, and you can also do it as a podcast while you're driving, while you're making supper. Create top coaches, flag some posts that inspire you to make your own. Create your own inspo collection. So if you see a coach doing something that is getting like crazy results, or it really speaks to you, like make a mental note of that and make it like your mission later on to make something similar to that. Do your hair and makeup, take a photo to use for your future post. I always get myself dressed up, and I'm like, I get my boyfriend to take pictures of me. It's something that he hates and I love, and I'm like, sorry. But when you have a pictures to choose from, you're more likely to make a post. Look back in your journal, see how far you've come, share that, share your journey authentically. Something that I have personally had a lot of success with is I have not always done so well with my mental health. A lot of people really take to me for that. Sam's thing is that she has struggled with infertility, and now she is pregnant. A lot of people follow her for that. Shanique is a social worker. Shanique is like extremely authentic on her stories every day about the good and the bad. Like, people want to see the real you. They want to see the good you and the bad you. And refer back to flagged or highlighted sections of your PD. So for me, I tab a lot of my personal development books. If I'm feeling uninspired, I can open up a page and I can find something that speaks to me. You can take a picture of that and share that on your story. You can make a post about that. You can do so much with that. The number one time that I hear people say that they don't feel like they're successful, or they're not sure if this is right for them, it's when they're not doing their personal and professional development. And then I guess on a last note for that, professional development is just important as your mindset development. Like, you need to be staying up to date on what is happening in the coaching world. You need to be listening to those national wake up calls. You need to know about like the next launches that are coming out. People will like you and be appreciative if you know kind of what is going on and you're knowledgeable on what you are inviting them to.
And two more things just quickly to add. If you have a topic that you need to grow in that you don't feel confident in, go to the team pages. So it could be like my team page, Britt's team page, Success Clubbers, Dynasty, like tips, like whoever's team page. Go to the search bar for that page and type in invites. And then you'll see all the videos, all the trainings that we've ever done and posted in this page about invites. Or if you know 9-week Control Freak is coming out and you're like, ooh, I don't feel like educated enough on this, type it in, because probably someone's already created a Coles Notes on that program. Or if you know that you're having problems with people, a certain objection, like money objection, type that in and then you'll get like all the resources. Or business activity trackers. If you want to find a different activity tracker, type that in, because people pile stuff in there and it's Facebook, right? So it gets lost. Like a week later, you can't find anything. So type it in, because there's really, really good videos and like resources in there. You just have to search for them to actually pull them up. And the second thing for creating a post inspo collection, if you follow someone and their post really resonates with you and you're like, ooh, I like that. Like maybe it was a sentence starter, or maybe they reflected on something, or just the way that they kind of did a post. If you hit that little flag button in the bottom right-hand corner, you can save it to a collection. And I literally have a collection in my Instagram that says post inspo. So whenever I'm like, I need to make a post and I'm reading my personal development, I'm like, I don't know, I'll look through those and be like, oh, right, I wanted to make a post about my experience with that. Like, obviously you're not copying them word for word at all. It's just like if it triggers something in you, but at that moment you don't have time to make a post or you don't have a picture, I'll be like, ooh, I want to do that later. Although right now it's kind of like me posting things about like when I'm further along in my pregnancy, and I can be like, I want to do that when I'm like, anyway, so I can go back and look at it. But yeah, so it's a good way to keep track of like post inspo if you have that collection option. Oh, that's me. So everyone's saying no. This is probably the biggest thing that we always hear. And there's no one right answer. Like we all go through this. Everyone's saying no, now what? Or I've run out of people to invite, or everyone's like ghosting me, or the people who are interested aren't interested anymore. That is so normal. It does not mean that you're failing as a coach. It does not mean that you're making a bad coach. It does not mean that you're never going to hit Success Club ever. It's just something that happens. Everyone goes through seasons and every month is different. The world affects everything. People's personal experiences and their own personal world affects everything. Like it's not on you. So don't internalize it as I'm failing because Jimmy said no. I don't want to say Jimmy. I've never talked to a person named Jimmy about Beachbody, but if Jimmy said no, it's not your fault. So things to remember about how you can like accept that, be like, hey, I'm in a season, this month is not my month, but I'm going to keep pushing through. Follow new people. Like at least if you follow new people this month, next month will be that much more successful, or the month down the road will be that much more successful. Control what you can control. You can't control people saying yes, but you can control connecting with more people. And the more people you connect with down the road, the more people are watching, the more people you have conversations with, etc. And lots of time people watch you for a while before they'll actually respond. Like they'll ghost you. Before they respond, they watch you. They get to know you more. Yeah, it just takes time. And there's people who sign up who've been watching me for 3 years and ghosted me for 3 years. Or there'll be people that sign up who followed me yesterday. Like literally, I was like, whoa, I followed you, you followed me, and boom, you signed up. Like you're gonna get a wide variety, but you have to keep getting new people. So again, go to your best friend, a post that they posted, who liked their post, go follow them. Oh, someone likes me back. I'm gonna go follow their friends now. Like just keep following friends of friends, and only like genuine though. Like if you're like, me and that girl would not get on, like don't follow her. Because then guess what's gonna happen? She's gonna be the one who's like I don't know, says something mean to you. Like you're gonna know who vibes with you and who doesn't. Like there's certain traits that when I see, I'm just like, not my jam, and then I move on. Because yeah, like you know who you are as a person. You want to try to find similar people with similar interests, because then when you follow them, they know it's for a genuine reason. Because like, oh, we have something in common. We both have a dog and like to hike. Boom, like that's like a huge community. Yeah, so find your like niche people. Every conversation you have, every maybe, every not now, every I just started going back to the gym, every I just signed up for spin, every I'm doing keto right now, all of those people, write their names down. If it's not a no, it's a not right now. And this is a really sad truth in the health and fitness world, but people start and people quit. That is like why Beachbody is so magical, at least in my life. It's the one thing that I've started that I haven't quit, because there's so much variety and the community, and I'm always engaged. It's always changing. I can do it in 10 minutes, 20 minutes, half an hour at my home in a snowstorm on a holiday. Like there's absolutely no reason for me to quit, because I have no excuse to quit, because it's so easy and sustainable. So if someone says, I just signed up for spin, congratulate them, say that's awesome, I love spin, whatever. And then a month, invite them again. Oh, you're still doing spin? That's sick. Like, here's my new favorite, like whatever. Next month, invite them again, because eventually most people say yes. If you look at your history, it might have taken them a year, it might have taken them 4 months, but most of the time they'll say yes. And if they don't say yes, they'll give you a hard no. And a hard no is fine, because then you're like, perfect, now I don't have to bug you anymore. And I can focus my energy on someone else. But it's weird to say that, but it's so true. If they're not saying no, it's a not right now. It's a maybe, it's a think of me later. And I had a coach who bothered her forever. And when she finally signed up, she's like, thank you for continuing to be on me, because I knew that my whole heart wasn't in all the other stuff I was doing, but I would just tell you that because it made me feel better. Like, and then it wasn't until she finally signed up that she's like, thank God you didn't give up on me, because now look at me, like, look how far I've come. And it's moments like that where you're like, okay, it's worth it. Like, I'm actually helping someone's life change in a sustainable way. Like, this isn't like something that they do once and then never do again. It's like, no, you learn and you grow a lot through this. So always remember, like, you're passing on this gift and your knowledge and like these opportunities. It's not just signing someone up and saying bye. Like, there's so much growth room here. So never feel bad if someone ghosts you. Invite them later. Never feel bad if someone says, oh, like, I'm not really into that. Like, I really love going to the gym. Be like, girl, I love going to the gym too. I totally get that. Like, you know where to find me if you ever change your mind and need something that's like quick at home. And they'll be like, yeah, for sure, I'll think of you, thanks. Write their name down. 2 months later, hey, are you still crushing it at the gym? Not sure if you saw, we've got this group. Like, whatever, you just keep doing it. Change it up, obviously, so it's not the same spiel, but like, you just keep connecting. And in between that, sometimes I'll just go to my connection list or my follow-up list and just go creep their page and be like, your dog's so cute. Or watch their story and just make sure I'm engaging with them. That's not an invite, so that we talk in between too. Yeah, and that's part of your tracker. If you're looking at your business activity tracker, there's like that connection part. And sometimes I'll just pick a letter of the alphabet and go to followers, M. And then anyone who starts with an M, I'll go try to connect with that day. And then the next day, N, and then O, and then P, and then probably I forgot where I was, so I went back to B or something. But like, you just pick a letter and try to like, like figure out a routine. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I talk a lot, you guys, I'm sorry.
I was gonna say, I think a mentality too that like kept like with the follow-ups and the invites that we were just talking about, the mentality, I think I heard this from Kate Schultz, is just follow them keep following up with them until they block you. Like, don't actually go for that, but I mean, just in general, like, you continuously need to follow up with people, and if they unfollow eventually or block, like, thank you, hallelujah, I don't have to bother you anymore. Like Sam was saying, like, sometimes it's just like, okay, good, now I've done my due. And like, obviously you get, yeah, anyways, that's just a side note. But
it's funny too, because like Britt, like my coach Britt, blocked her coach and then still creeped her even though like she blocked her, and then signed up with her later.
Yeah.
So even if people block you, they can still creep you later.
Okay, business activity trackers. These are my jam. I am someone who really values like structure, and I get a little overwhelmed if I don't have something kind of like our minds think in visuals. So when we have something like a business activity tracker to look at, it kind of helps you figure out what you need to do. There are tons of like pre-made ones. There is like the one that Beachbody designed. They got together with like all of the top coaches, like the most successful coaches, and they designed the Success Club System Tracker, which is the one on the left-hand side in the slide. And then the one on the right was one that somebody else had made. You can make your own. You can print out one of the Beachbody ones. You can go onto a Facebook page and Google it and just pick the one that speaks to you. I personally use the OG one, and I have highlighted what I think is the most important. And also building on what Sam had said, like how she had looked for people and she didn't really feel like they were her jam. Get clear on who your target market is. Like, who do you want to invite? Don't just invite everyone. Invite people that you think that you can genuinely like build a connection with. Get clear on your why when you're feeling uninspired. And these are so helpful. So just briefly going through over the like OG one, workout and drink Shakeology. You need to be doing the things. You can be inviting people into a specific program. We have meditations now. We have yoga. We have nutrition programs that are now included into the challenge pack. You need to be proof that the products work, or you're not doing your job. Connecting, inviting, and following up. Initiating connections and adding followers. If you are someone who is getting the no's all the time, you need to expand your follower list. You need to start building relationships with people. Do a social media post that showcases the benefits of your healthy lifestyle. So those pictures that I would have gotten Curtis to take of me, my boyfriend, 5 months ago, I'm ready to make a post. I read something in my personal development book. I'm feeling inspired. I'm going to add that, and I'm going to talk about a takeaway from my personal development book. Someone is going to resonate with that and respect you more or connect with you more, and they're going to be 10 times more likely to say yes to you because they're starting to learn about who you are as a person and not just who you are as a Beachbody coach. Updating your story throughout the day, that doesn't have to be a stressful thing. When you make your Shakeology every day, take a picture, write the ingredients, done. Takes 30 seconds. When you do your workout, add a clip, write what program you're doing. When you are making a healthy meal, post that. Like, share the benefits of your healthy lifestyle. Invite people. That is something I have highlighted. If you want your business to grow and you're not inviting, well, it's just not going to grow. People most likely are not going to reach out to you. That's intimidating to them. You need to be the one to reach out to them. So whether you're just saying, hey, I'm going to say Sally because that's what Sam always says. It's the only name I can think of right now. Hey, Sally, I noticed that you've been following along with my wellness journey. Here are some free sample workouts. Or, hey, Sally, I noticed that you've been following along with my nutrition lately. I was wondering if you wanted to do a nutrition course with me. Get specific on your invites. And then following up with people you've invited, that is on there as well. We did a lot over that. And then get people results and share that. So Sam had already touched on that. When somebody that you coach sends you one of those messages that reminds you of why you do that, share that. Other people are going to read that and be like, wow, she did that for this person. Like, maybe she could do that for me too. Like, people are watching more than you think.
And
so even
if you share someone else's story, like, not everyone that watches you will relate to your story, but if you share other people's stories and like other people's messages to you, they might relate with them, if that
totally
makes sense. So
for me, like, I joined Beachbody to gain weight. I struggled with like an eating disorder when I was younger. I struggled with like substance abuse. Sam, for example, joined Beachbody because she wanted to lose weight and was struggling with feeling insecure. Like, everyone joins for different reasons. But yeah, like, people will be attracted to different people, I guess. And then I guess the rest of it is just talking about contributing to your challenge group, which we have went over, and then engaging in personal and professional development. So everything that we have went over about like the vital things that you need to be doing to expand your business, it's on this, guys. Like, it's on this tracker. Laminate it, hang it up, put it in a page protector so you don't have to print out one every single week, but you should have one of these in like a clear view. Like, for me, I have mine hung up over my desk and I just kind of use it as a reference every day. I don't necessarily check it off every day, but having it in front of me and seeing that visual reminds me of what I need to be doing.
And I know for myself, I have both. I have both of these just on my desk as a visual, but I keep my own mini list that I have in like a book of mine, but this could start off in a notebook and then I just shrink it down. So these are my, like, every day I have to do this little list, but if I have more time, I'll sit down and go through an entire business tracker. So that's kind of how I do it. And that's like my morning list because I work during my Energize. So like I do my little morning list, and then later if I come back to it, I like do the whole thing.
Yeah, like I have like mine, I don't know if you can tell, but I have certain things highlighted. Those are like my non-negotiables. So like if I have a really, really busy day, I'm like, okay, these are, I can only fit in this today. I'm going to initiate connections. I'm going to add followers. I'm going to follow up. Those I think are the 3 most important things to me. And like the things I kind of slack on the most. So get clear on the things that like you want to do when you don't have a lot of time. Like it can really be like, it's flexible, you can make your own, but I really think that having some sort of tracker will really help you stay on track.
Ooh.
Shocker.
All right, and that is our last little, oops, yeah.
I was like, what, there's more?
Nope, that's it. That's all of them. But at any point, like if you're feeling that overwhelm, or if you're like, here's how much time I have in a day, like what should I focus on? Like message your coach and be like, here's what I found, here's what's working, here's what's not working, here's what I'm missing. Like we can help you make it simpler for you, like tailor it kind of to you and to your schedule. Cause like we all have our own, like we all have very different day-to-day lives. So if you kind of like let us know when you have time and like what's working, what's not, we can kind of help go from there. But it's all trial and error. You're just going to have to try, but make sure you're inviting every day and showing up on your social media.
Yes.
For sure. Because then you can't invite if you have no one to look from. And no one's going to sign up with you if you're not being consistent. So I think that's the biggest thing. Stay consistent with yourself and then sharing about it. And then you can build from there. Pretty easy.
Okay, I think we covered everything. Basically, we just wanted to make this because this business is supposed to be fun. Like, get excited about it. Have fun with it. Your job is to take care of yourself and then share that with other people. Share what's working with you. So above all, have fun with it. This is a job where you can make your own hours. You can make a lot of money. You can pay for your gas. I pay for my therapy with coaching. Like
friends. Yeah.
make friends. Like I just flew to Nova Scotia. The first people I hung out with were people that I coach. So there's so many beautiful things to this business that is not just working out or not just nutrition. It's meditation, it's yoga, it's learning how to eat healthy, it's learning or finding what books to read, finding what podcasts, making friends. Like
routine.
The opportunities, routine, yes, the opportunities are literally endless. But I'm going to stop talking now.
Okay. All right, I'm going to stop recording.
Okay, thanks, guys.